Can I welcome everybody to the Tyseley and Hay Mills online meeting, Ward Forum meeting today. Can I just read out the notice for recording? So residents and listening participants in the online meeting to be advised that the meeting will be recorded and a copy of the recording will be available for the future records, sorry. Okay, there is a recording and it will be available for future records. Apologies, Bev. I think what we've had is today at the last minute you had a apologies from the police because there's some kind of a operation going on and they were called to that, so I'm really sorry that they can't be here. And I think John Dunleavy sent his apologies as well. Is that correct, Bev?
Yes, Councillor Iqbal, it is. Good evening, everyone. We've had apologies, as Councillor said, late apologies from the police because there's an ongoing incident that they're dealing with, and John Dunleavy, housing officer, has sent his apologies as well.
But I will update. Leslie, I will update on the blocks, and then what I'm hoping is, just before we get into the agenda, is that, this will be the last meeting on Teams. I think what we're going to do is we're going to go back to the live meetings, and like before, we'll do one in ACOG Stream at the Scouts Hut. I'm planning for I think we're planning on the 24th, and I'll give in my report, I'll say why we're having that one. And then we will have one on the 8th of June at St. Cyprian's Memorial Hall, I think. But I will update on those. So, the Teams meeting will go back, and then hopefully the housing officer and the police will be, I'll make sure that,
which is understandable.
Yeah. So, if we go on to the agenda, on the next item is the Commonwealth Games, Celebrating Communities Fund project selection. Unfortunately, we had to put that one back as well. I mean, Andy is here, but we needed to rejig that one. There were some issues with the project. So what I'm suggesting is that if we rejig that one and redo the application, Andy, and if we bring it back to the 24th of March one at the Scouts Hut, that would then we can vote on it and take it off from there. The two applications that we listened to last time, they were approved, and I'm sure Bono's here and somebody will update us on that. Is there anything you want to add to that, Andy?
No, just to say that the reason why that application has changed. Hold on, let me shut the door. The reason why that application has changed is because we're delighted to announce that we've managed to secure one of the 5. So there's going to be 5 like fan zones or festival sites for the Commonwealth Games, and we've managed to secure that on the Oaklands. Lots of sites were taken into consideration. We got down to the list, the 25 list, and then we had further conversations. But because we're a very strong community, we've got a very strong community here, then we were finally selected. So I think that's going to be an amazing opportunity for the neighbourhood. So the application that I put in isn't needed anymore because what I can do is going to be insignificant to that event, and I don't want to do the same, try and do the same sort of thing. But there's going to be big screens, there's going to be a production, it's all, so, and it will be amazing for the Oaklands. So yeah, so I just heads up really that that's going to happen, and it's going to be great for our community.
Thanks, Andy. So we look forward to hearing about the project on the 24th, and hopefully bidding to put that through. Leslie, you got your hand up.
Yeah. Going back to like John Dunleavy not being here today or Derek Fellows, can we make sure that the proposals that the aerial fund is going to be spent are stopped until we can speak to somebody? Because I know there's a lot of discontent in the block at the moment about what's...
Leslie, I'll come to that in a minute once
I
go into my report.
Yeah.
But this was just, celebrating Communities Fund that, is for the whole board, because of Commonwealth Games. So Andy's given an update on that. So we will look forward to having that, listen to that project on the 24th, as I said. And I'm hoping to have that meeting at the Scouts Hut in Spring Road, going back to live meetings instead of, the team meetings, because there are a lot of residents come to the meetings. And I think this is going to be the last one on Teams for a while. The next one will be on 24th of March, hopefully at the Scouts Hut, and then we're going to have one on the 8th of June at the Memorial Hall in Hay Mills. So, okay, so that's number 3 on the Commonwealth Games. Bono, is there anything you want to add about your projects? How they're getting on, or do you want to give an update, or are you okay?
Okay, Zafar, thank you so much for the invitation. And my name is Bano, and I live locally on George Road. I have applied for a award forum funding that is about 5K. Unfortunately, my funding is not released yet, so all the plans is still pending. So Zafar, can you find out something about that one? So, but basically the plan is just again bringing all the community together and doing some improvement in the local park, that is George Pocket Park, and then we will do celebration nearby Commonwealth Games, 3 celebration like picnics, community picnics. So at the moment, again is everything is pending, but as you know me that I don't wait for anything. We have done as much as we can without anything, and we have planted about 1,000 daffodils, and tulips are coming again for spring. And for the this is update from my side.
Thank you, Bono. Bev, can we chase this up? What's the hold up on the funding on the celebrating communities thing? Can we chase it with the right officers? I think.
Yeah, that's right. I was just typing in the chat actually to say that I'll try and find out what's happened to the to the release of the funding. But it could be a conversation that I need to have with you offline, Barney, because there's probably things that that needs to be completed. But we can certainly have that conversation offline, and we'll get it sorted out.
Okay, that's fine. As long as we chase it up with the relevant officers. So
yes, we'll do. Yeah, we'll do.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, we'll do.
Thank you for that. Okay, so the updates were from me and the police and the housing officer, but the housing officer is not here. So what I'll do is I'll do my update. I think everybody should have had my written report that went out with this invitation. I'm not sure whether people read it or not, but I'll just go through some of the things that I've been doing since the last forum. So I did send a written report out with this invite to this meeting. So okay, so my advice bureaus have been face to face for the last couple of months now. We started them I think 2 months ago, and I have had back to full capacity now. I do get a lot of people coming to, because they're weekly advice bureaus, and I've started them. So every Friday we have these in the middle of the board at AJK House, and I've had loads of people come to see me now. So we've started the face-to-face ones. I've also do home visits for people who request a home visit, and everybody should have my mobile number, my personal number. I've given everybody the number to ring me anytime there is a problem. Most of the casework that I've had is to do with fly tipping, housing, antisocial behaviour, exempt accommodation, HMOs, and school places. So these are the kind of sort of stuff I get through my people who come to see me and either through email or, meetings of, the full council meetings are happening face to face. I mean, they're not sort of on Teams. So many people will know that the council house is being rewired, and there's some work, maintenance work. So, the meetings are happening at Villa Park at the moment, which is not good news for me, obviously. Being a Blues fan, don't like turning up there, but there you go. We have to do that. Also, as residents will know, I'm the lead member on the Western Fire Authority. I presented my full year's report to the full council only last Tuesday. So within the council role, I have, I'm on trustee on several trusts. So one of them is the Boardman Trust, and one of them is the Shelton School Uniform Trust. So I've attended those meetings as well. Recently, the council has, you will know that, they've got these mobile household recycling vehicles. And, I've had 2 visits from them in my ward. One was on Nice Road, 3 visits. And one was on Pembrey Road, and one was on Deakins Road only last week. Now, once, I have notification of these vehicles coming into my ward, what I do is I do about 500 to 600 letters to the immediate area that they're coming to. And then I, hand deliver those letters to residents so that residents are aware that, these vehicles are coming and where they're going to be located and, what stuff they can take and whatnot. So we've had 3 already this in my ward, as I mentioned, and we got further 3 or 4 to come. As soon as I get the locations, I'll put out the letters to residents to let them know. So we've had, to complement that, as I've said before many times, we've got 3 litter picks groups in Hay Mills. One is kindly, run by Lee in Berkeley Road. He organises the residents, he organises the litter picks, the bags, and then, I'm sort of, I attend every one of them. Last Saturday, we had the PCC, the Assistant Crown Commissioner, turn up as well, which was really good. Spoke to some residents, he spoke to some residents. We do a litter pick. There's one South Yardley litter pick that is done on the Oaklands, which is run by Fran Smith. She's the South Yardley litter champions, I think they're called. So thank you to her as well. And then we do one in Deakins Road, Meadley, and John and Bridget. So that's another one that we do. So there's 3 litter picks per month that we regularly do. If there's anybody else interested in any other parts of the board, I'll put it in my literature. We're more than happy to start on down there. So the other thing I regularly attend is the East Birmingham Community Safety Partnership with the Chief Inspector sits on there. And one of the biggest issues that we have that I discuss on there is that the beggars and the antisocial behaviour and the rubbish on the Coventry Road A45 by the Lidl and by King's Road. So, we're working with different agencies to, come to a solution there, but, it's a very slow process. We're trying everything. The police have visited, Triton, we have a contract about homeless, they visited, so, but we still got antisocial behaviour and, people begging on the traffic lights, leaving loads of rubbish. So, that's one of the issues that is being dealt with. Housing, Leslie, what I've asked John Dunleavy to do is on the aerial fund and on the 3 blocks is to issue a newsletter and to start opening up the common rooms so we could have the meetings. I've spoken to Rachel Fulwell, the housing senior manager. I've also spoken to John Dunleavy, and we've agreed that the common rooms will be open for residents meeting again. I've asked him to put in his letter an update on the aerial fund for Copies House and all the other issues. So I was assured that letter would go out last week or this week. I'll come back to you, Leslie, as soon as I finish it. So the letter should go out. The common rooms meeting should start up as soon as they've come up with the dates. And that's the meeting I've had with them. The issues have been, in Curtis Park, the quad bikes. I was there
Yeah.
with the police the other day. In the Little Hall Green Theatre, there was, a lot of quad bikes, and there was drugs issues, antisocial behaviour. I've spoken to the sergeant, and he was going to update tonight, but unfortunately he's been called away to an incident. So, the issues around Pembrey Road, area fund, all that sort of stuff is being dealt with at the moment. I'm also on the HLB for ACOX Green and South Yardley, and regularly do walkabout with them. I attend the meetings, listen to issues. I mean, the ACOX Green chair is obviously lives in Pembrey Road, so he knows all about it. Lee is our vice chair at South Yardley, is here on the meeting as well. So I go and report back to the HLB and tell them what I'm doing, and then I regularly take part with the HLB walks in my ward, and issues are reported, and I work with residents, HLB, to report and to do whatever we can. With the police, we have set up again. I have regular walkabouts with the PCSOs. I have a regular meeting with the ACOX Green Sergeant and the South Yardley Sergeant at the police station to highlight some of the casework that comes to me, some of the issues that come to me through HLB, through other residents. So we have that. We have set up a street watch in Hay Mills. Obviously, Lee, we got 2 other people, and he's part of that as well. We've recently started doing speed watch because we've got a gun now. So yesterday we were at the Holder Road site, and we've done a speed watch there and a street watch. We have regular street watch meetings. In ACOX Green part of the ward, Mayfield Road was, we had lots of problems on speeding. So Lee, myself, Lee Hawkins, that is the sergeant, and myself, we had a day out on, speed watch. So we went to Mayfield Road and certain other roads in ACOX Green to monitor that. And we're going to be doing that regularly. I think that's going to be a regular thing soon. We also have the brew with the crew, which is, the police having a cup of tea with residents, and we have it at the South Yardley Library. I've asked them to increase that to the St. Cyprian's Memorial Hall as well, and to the common rooms in Pembrey Road once they're up and running. So we can have a dialogue with the police, and they can be there to report back. Sometimes they can't get to these meetings, and we miss them. And if they're regularly out there talking to residents, so I asked the St. Cyprian's Hall to be put on there and the Pembrey Road, and both the sergeants have agreed that that will be possible once if we give them the dates in advance, they can do that. Yeah. Okay. I've also been out with the district engineer, because as a councillor I have a small budget that I can spend. Is about £10,000, and one of the main issues we're having at the moment is Meriden Close, where the binmen can't get in because people are so inconsiderate in parking. They park on both sides of the road. The lorries can't get in. The bins get missed. And there's all. I mean, I've asked the police to ticket those cars, but what we decided to do is put 3 bollards on one side, which will be going in the next couple of weeks. We put some bollards on the Coventry Road, where the builders merchant is on the Shippey Road, because people are getting the cars onto the pavement, and we want to stop that. There were some bollards put in on Francis Road, I think 6 months back, and that's been, and we got a bit of money left for, the green wages, and that's going on Fast Pace Road at the moment, and that's the end of the budget for this year. And next year, I've had Holyoke Road on my list, and we planted some grass there, so that's touch wood has been okay for a while. So maybe we'll have to do something there in other parts of the ward. Exempt accommodations, a lot of complaints about, in Hay Mills especially. There are lots of landlords buying these properties and making them into exempt. That's causing antisocial behaviour. Some are being turned into HMOs. I mean, as soon as the HMO application comes into my ward, I'll put in an objection, saying that got enough and all that sort of stuff. We've had some success, but not that much. But I'm still working on that. Oakland's, the football pitches are running. I mean, Andy will tell you that the football teams are back on there. We're doing the regular litter picks. There's one this Saturday. Curtis Gardens I've already mentioned. Pocket parks on the Coventry Road. There's been, I think, there's been about 14 trees planted. That's because of the A45 works going on, and we need to plant some trees. So 14 trees have been planted there. The A45 Coventry Road, people who use it will know that it's a nightmare at the moment because of the bus lane going in. We're putting the new bus lane in. But I'm pleased to say that the shop side is nearly complete now, and they have opened up the parking there because the shopkeepers were really moaning because their business was being affected, and that was closed for nearly 2 months. But in the last week, they have opened the parking up, and that bit of the Coventry Road from Haybarns Island to Holder Road, that's my bit of the A45 anyway. That's open now for parking, and but on the other side, still we got by the Kings Road Junction, we got works going on, and those works will go on all the way up to Sheldon and all the way up to the airport. So and now the Sheldon end is being blocked off and all that sort of stuff. There is some night work coming up, and I've put letters out in the local roads saying that there will be closures from I think it's about 10 p.m. till 5 p.m. in the morning because they're going to do some essential work. I've talked about hydrogen buses and the Tyseley Energy Park. We've had 3 or 4 high-profile visitors to the park. I think there was a select committee or some committee who looks into climate change and pollution and all that. They were here last week. And the hydrogen buses, I think the Westminster Travel have taken about 20 that are already on the roads, and there's some more to come. Part of that is the last word I've talked about already. We got some funding. We haven't started the meetings yet. The meetings are scheduled for this month. I think where we're going to decide where the money is going to be spent and how we're going to do it. There's a committee of local partners, local residents, councillors. That's coming up soon. The East Birmingham strategy plan, for the area about employment, upskilling the workforce. That's taking shape now. Planning applications. We've had one planning application that is particular that I wanted to bring to people's attention was the 95 Stockfield Road. As people will know, that was put in for 43-bed, accommodation, and we objected. All 3 councillors from the other boards objected as well, including myself, John O'Shea, Roger Harmer. That went on for months and months, but now it has been approved as a 20 residential flats, which is, I suppose, better than what we had before, where they said they were going to be 43 flats or something, and we objected on certain conditions, and that was rejected, and they withdrew the application. Now it's come back, and they put in 20, and that's been approved. Okay, so the other thing that I just wanted to quickly mention was Wharfdale Road and Redford Road. I visited with the police because if you know that area, Redford Road, all the cars are parked on the pavement. And then if you go into Wharfdale Road, the lorries skip lorries and all these kind of things. So we went and done a half a day there with the police, visited every, factory and every business there to tell them that the cars shouldn't be parked there. Some of the cars weren't even insured or taxed. We ticketed them. ISL skips higher. They're the biggest concern to me at the moment. They're leaving their skips on the pavement. Their lorries are on the pavement as well. So I've written to the Environment Agency, which are responsible for them, to say that they're causing a nuisance to the residents. And I'm waiting for a response. The police have visited them to tell them that this is not acceptable, and we have ticketed some of the lorries and some of the cars there. People will probably not know, but some of you will know that travellers moved in on the old Walker site on Wharfdale Road and Rushy Lane. It took us working with the police and partners and the landlords, because they were on a private property. Took us I think it was 4 or 5 days before we could get the injunction and move them on. But they left a lot of damage, to the site, which is to the annoyance of the landlord. I mean, he wasn't particularly, happy about that. But they have moved on, and the site has been secured. Just lastly, as I said before we started the meeting, we are looking to go back to having the board forums live again. On Shaftmore Lane and Alton Boulevard East, there are the zebra crossings. I've had lots of complaints about those zebra crossings. A lot of accidents have happened there because they're too close. So I'm working with the highways, and we have come up with a plan to move the ones on Alton Boulevard East back a bit, because people are saying they weren't consulted on that. So, ask the highways to consult on that. That letter should go out to, all the residents around the beginning of March. So I'm hoping that we can have a meeting at the Scout site on the 24th, I think, or whatever it is, on March. And there we can have the Celebrating Communities Fund applications assessed there as well. And then on the 8th of June, we're hoping to have Bob will remember this. I think a lot of people probably weren't there. About 2 years ago, we had a community day at the Tyseley Energy Park. We had an all-day event, and we had residents, schools, businesses. We done a litter pick, and we came up with a board plan and all that sort of stuff. So we're hoping to repeat that on the 8th of June, and that would be part of the board forum as well. We will have a litter pick, and if people want to have a look around Tyseley Energy Park, where all the hydrogen buses are going to go, and it's all complete ready. So that might be. So we're hoping to plan that on the 8th of June with Tyseley Energy Park, Haywell's Foundation Trust, St Cyprian's Hall, Bono's Memorial Hall, and the litter pick and all that. That's just the email came today, and we're planning to do that on the 8th. I think I've covered everything that I need to. I'm happy to take questions from residents or any comments or issues, if there are any. Leslie, you had your hand up. I'll come to you.
Yeah, going back to, I know you were going to talk about the aerial fund. Can we have what's been proposed stopped? Because a lot of residents, well, not a lot, some residents have come to me, and that has been suggested, the money spent on for this season seems absolutely ridiculous. Like a TV aerial license for the common room when there's no TV in there, paying for the garage to the gardeners when there's no gardeners doing any gardening, and the refurbishment of the drawing rooms, nobody uses them.
Okay, Leslie, what I'll do is, because what John sent to me was that they done a full consultation of every resident in that tower block, yeah, and they came up with the suggestions. So what I'm gonna suggest is that we leave that when John's there, so you can answer the question that you asked, because I've asked them to consult every resident in that block and get.
I know what's happening. Sorry, yeah. I don't know what's happening, but I have a fair clue.
Yeah,
I've spoke to several residents, and they've said the residents go, well, I don't mind what you spend the money on. That's not an answer. So if they're counting that as an answer, no, there's a lot of other suggestions out there we want to spend the money on, and they're blocking it straight away.
Okay, well, I'll get John to reply to that when he's, I'll make those points to him. And when I spoke to them, I specifically made it clear that, all the residents in the tower block needed to be consulted, and we need to see the consultation, and then we need to see all the paperwork. And I was sure that was done. So I'll get back to you on that one. And, when we have the meeting at the common room,
yeah,
what I'm trying to do is have a meeting in the common room. So the officers are there, residents are there, and then we can have a dialogue. Yeah.
That's brilliant. Then go into the common room.
Yeah.
We've got a major problem. Somebody or a group of people are leaving the fire exit door ajar, so it doesn't look like it's shut. It looks like it's shut, and it actually isn't. And this is happening overnight, from what we can gather.
I'll report that back as well. Yeah.
Yeah. That's it. Oh, and
Okay,
also, can you find out what's happening with about care officer for the 3 blocks? We seem to have one for a couple of hours, but nobody knows when the person's in. And if there is a notice down on the ground floor, not everybody can get to the office to find out when the person's in.
Okay, I made a note of that as well.
Thank
Bob,
you.
do you want to come in? Do you want to unmute yourself, Bob?
Yeah. I'm just coming back to what you were saying about the crossings on Shaftmore Lane.
Yeah.
I agree with that. They have been a problem for a long time, and I couldn't understand why they was done like that. You know what I mean? When they was done, but what I'm saying is also a big problem we've got on the corner of just right by one of the crossings. There's always a load of rubbish dumped there. It gets cleared and it's dumped again. It's right by the crossing where the shops are going onto the boulevard, the crossing there. And I mean, I walked past it the other day, walking to the Spring Road train station, and there was dead rats there. You know what I mean? Amongst all the rubbish. I don't know where it's coming from, but it's constantly being loaded up. As soon as it goes, it gets loaded up again.
Bob, you know, John's not here today. You know, John lives on Shaftmore Lane. Usually joins this meeting. I mean, if you ask John, every time, you know, the rubbish is outside number 1 Alton Boulevard East, on the corner of by the zebra crossing on Shaftmore and Alton Boulevard East. And John always sends me a picture, always go and visit. And we're trying to get to the bottom of that. It's every, you know, that's one of the hot spots that, you know, I have to deal with every second day. As soon as we get it lifted, he comes back in. So that's one of the target ones that I'm trying to, you know, when we talk about these cameras and things, I've put that down as one of my targets to, you know, find people, because, you know, it's just ridiculous that, you know, every time we get it done. And, you know, by the Spring Road train station, we've cleared that, you know, the scouts and myself and, you know, Fran Smith, we've cleaned that area 3-4 times. And every time we clean it, there's more dumped. You know, and we got to get to the bottom of it. But, you know, I'm trying my best. I totally agree with you. And, you know, the zebra crossings, when that part of the ward came into my ward, one of the issues was that, you know, I was getting a lot of complaints about that they weren't consulted on. So I've been working with them for the last 3 years, trying to say, well, we need to, you know, do something. So, you know, I've had a meeting with them, the engineers and everybody. What they've agreed is that, you know, the ones on the, not on the Shaftmore Line, but on the Alton Boulevard East, they're going to move them back so that, you know, when the cars are coming on Shaftmore Line, they've got no room to, you know, stop. So although I've agreed it, I said, yeah, that looks okay. I want that to go to the public. So they, you know, on the 24th of March, we'll bring those plans to the scout site, and then people can have this say, because, you know, a lot of people say, well, we weren't consulted last time. So I want to make sure that this time we are properly consulted, every single person on Shaftmore Lane. So they don't have, so, you know, the plans are coming up, so we'll see that on the 24th.
Okay.
Thank you. Anybody else? Lee, did you have your hand up? Lee Parkins? Hello? Whose hand that is? Beverly, can you see whose hand that is?
Yeah, that's Barna's hand.
Oh, sorry.
Okay.
Bana, can you come in? Oh, sorry about that. I thought it was Lee. Oh, Lee's come up now. So Bana, I'll go to Bana first and then Lee.
Zafar, I want to say that the report you have just presented, I am really glad that you are thinking to bring police in the Memorial Hall. If you have more knowledge, please let me know as soon as possible. At the moment, we are doing kind of a art club with the Arts in the Yard and number 11 Arts. So more than over 50 people, different families from George Road, Kings Road, and Deacons Road, Holder Road, Red Hill Road, they are coming and join. So it would be nice that if they can speak directly to each other, and then let's have a start conversation between two main big things. I think as much as I have noticed a few things that yes, beggars is a problem for me as well, because Memorial Hall is I have to go at night time, and there are few people, one couple is always there. begging, and this issue should be resolved at least.
We are having, I've spoken to the police because they have the, meetings at South Yardley Library, and Lee and myself, we visited, we go to these ones regularly, and what we've suggested is that, we have some at the Memorial Hall, and then I wanted them to have some in the common rooms and family roads. So, we're working on that, and hopefully that should be, soon we should have some results on that. Okay, thank you, Bono. Lee? Lee Parkins? Hands up. I can see his hand up.
You can hear me now.
Oh, I can hear you now, Lee. Thanks.
I muted myself, saying it would help everybody else. No, this fund that you're talking about, this gentleman was talking about, in the block. Did you have to spend that before a certain time, like on the HLBs?
Yeah.
Because I'm just saying, you're going into March, you don't want to be losing the money. It's just a thing I'm bringing forward here.
That was the reason I was, pushing John Levy and everybody to get. We don't want to miss the target, but I think we understand that, and hopefully that'll be spent.
Okay, it was just a thing I brought in because I know HLBs, their funds have got to come to the end soon for April, and it'll be the same, I dare say, for that. So it needs to be pushed before, so you don't lose that money. You know what I'm saying?
That's
okay,
fine.
thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else got anything? Where's my agenda? Anything else? Okay, so any other news from local news from Bono or Andy? Anything happening at the Harbour or anything that's coming up at the Memorial Hall? Andy? Andy, yeah.
Yeah, so just to say that we'll be running our holiday clubs for children again in February, half term, Easter, and we'll be running a big scheme in the summer. So I'm working with street games, and there's quite a few of us now in Yardley because we want our children to have access to good quality holiday club provision. So they'll all be running, and so if you want a place, just let us know. Keep the kids off the street, keep them active, give them healthy food, and keep them fed. So that's what we're about. And then the community centre's fully back up and running. So there's adult courses, there's things for the kids in the evening. Bev can come to Bollyfit and Bano. You've said you'd come to Bollyfit, but you've never made it, Bev.
Did I say that really?
Sorry?
Oh, did I really say that, Andy?
I don't know, but that might be an exaggeration. Yeah, so yeah, lots going on, and then we're really excited about the summer and what's going to happen in the summer.
Okay, thanks, Andy. Is the pantry still running, Andy?
Yeah, the pantry runs every Thursday afternoon. It's £4 to shop, and you get about £25 worth of food. The only thing we ask is if you're struggling with the bills. The other thing that we're doing a lot of at the moment, I don't know if you've heard of the household fund. So anybody who's really struggling can apply to the household fund, and the council will help you out with £150. Obviously you need to be struggling. They're not giving it to everyone, but if you come down the community centre, then we can apply for the household fund for people that are really struggling. We are swamped. There's a lot of people struggling, can't pay their bills, can't buy food and things, but that is something that can help. So please, if you want to use the pantry, just turn up on a Thursday afternoon. We are open at 12:30, where you can get a drink and some homemade cake, and then you can do your shopping. So yeah, anybody you know who's struggling, let me know.
Thanks, Andy. That's a really good service that we provide in Yardley, and I just wanted everybody to know. So if you do know anybody who needs to use that, that'd be great to contact Andy and use the pantry. Stand, is there Stand S?
Yes, thank you, Councillor. It's actually my first time on the forum. I have been meaning to come before, but it's just not been possible. So it's good to actually just see people and listening to what is being talked about on this forum. I was quite interested to hear from Andy Brown regarding the food pantry. Obviously, I could take this offline with him. Because I actually represent the Yardley Church on Berkeley Road, and we are looking at installing a food pantry as well. So it might be a good idea if I was to link up with Andy and just lean on his expertise a bit, so that we can see how a successful pantry is actually run.
Yeah, that's
so you're welcome to come any Thursday and have a good look round, and we'll chat to you and explain what we do. You might want to do something different, but we can explain what you do.
We're actually located, Andy.
So the pantry is in South Yardley Methodist Church, which is just off the slip road on the Swan, and it's opposite Farm Foods car park. You might know the church there. It's on the Coventry Road, on the slip road, and the pantry opens every Thursday. The community centre is on the same site as Oasis Hobmore, Oasis Academy Hobmore, on the corner of Wash Lane and Hobmore Road, but opposite 2Ms.
Great. I think I actually contacted you over a year ago now at the Oasis project group, because we've been publicising your pantry there. I'm sure. Yes.
So you can
I think we have spoken before.
Yeah, I'm sure we have.
Yeah, that's great. Thanks very much.
Thank you, Stan, for coming as well. Appreciate it. And if there's any news you want to share from the church, you're more than welcome to share it here. If there's something going on at the church, or you want any help or assistance, or if you, I go past your church. I think when I do walks with Lee and all that sort of stuff. So it's good to see you on the forum. Thank you for coming.
Yeah. Well, the last time I saw you, Councillor, was when we did some litter picking with the children from the church. You may remember at least 3 years ago, I think it was.
Yeah. But now, Stan, just to let you know that every first Saturday of the month we do Berkeley Road. Lee organises that. Lee Parkinson is on the forum here. He lives in Berkeley Road, so we do we done it last Saturday. And we start from, in the middle of the road, and we come all the way up to the church, and then all the way to the other side by the school. So we do it every first Saturday of the month at 10 o'clock. If you're interested, that'd be good.
Okay, that's fine. Okay, I'll note that. Thank you.
Thank you. Pano, did you want to say anything? Got your hand up.
Yes, I want to say that as Mr. Brown mentioned that they are doing holiday program and some new funding that is helping families who are struggling. So not on that high scales, but I am doing same thing in Memorial Hall on very low pilot scheme type things. So we recently did December holiday scheme that was a successful. So we are thinking to increase people's engagement more for April holidays and might be summer holidays as well. And yes, I am filling the form on behalf of the families who I am an authorized person, but again, I have a very limited capacity and limited volunteers. So I am doing on a very low scale, but I am trying to do as much as I can from the Memorial Hall. This is the update. And for the Berkeley Road Church, I think he might know I have worked with him for December as well, but he doesn't know me by face maybe, or but I have they were offering some gift packs for the families. So I was the person who represent few families, and I deliver all those gift packs.
Okay. Thank you. Thanks.
Or if they need any help with the pantry or doing some more, I have some volunteers nearby who are looking for work or some just voluntary work. I can help them with that as well.
Thank you very much, Mana. Any other comments or questions? Okay. Thank you very much. I mean, it's been a really useful meeting. I'm sorry that the police and the housing officer were not here today, but hopefully in the next meeting we will have them there. As always, I'm available on my phone, email, advice bureau, board forum, wherever. So I think that's about it for tonight. Can I thank everybody who attended? Bev, can you stay behind for a minute and then we'll close the meeting. Thank you very much.
Will do. Thanks, everyone. Thank you. Take care.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Cheers, Bev.
Bye.
Bye.